Have you ever found yourself trapped in thoughts that pull you down, freeze you, and make you doubt who you are? On the outside, everything seems fine, but inside, your mind is screaming. These negative thoughts creep in silently, and before you know it, they've stolen your peace. But there is a way out, and it begins with an ancient philosophy, Stoicism. Today, you'll learn 7 powerful Stoic lessons to silence negativity and take back control of your mind. If this message speaks to you, subscribe to the channel now and leave a comment below. I will master my mind. You're watching the Stoic Sage. Let's begin the teachings. Lesson 1. Recognize you are not what you think. Have you ever noticed how a single thought can completely change your mood? You wake up feeling fine, but suddenly a memory or a worry appears and everything shifts. You start to feel uneasy, anxious, afraid, and from that moment, everything begins to fall apart. But there's a liberating truth that Stoicism teaches. You are not what you think. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them." Negative thoughts gain power because you confuse them with reality, but they are just mental events, like clouds drifting across the sky. The problem begins when you grab onto those clouds and turn them into storms. Imagine your mind as a garden. Negative thoughts are like seeds carried by the wind. You can't control the wind, but you can choose what you water. If you water fear, insecurity, anger, they grow. But if you simply observe without feeding them, they wither and disappear. That's the Stoic practice. Observe without identifying. When the thought comes, "You're not good enough," breathe deeply and say, "This is just a thought. It's not the truth." When the idea appears, "Everything is going to go wrong," remind yourself, "This is only a projection of my mind. None of this is actually happening." The more you train this separation between thought and identity, the freer you become. It's like stepping out of the storm and calmly watching it from a distance. You don't need to fight your thoughts. You just need to stop fusing with them. See them as visitors. They come and go. But the owner of the house, the observing awareness, is you. And once that awareness awakens, it can no longer be ruled by destructive thoughts. This is the first step of Stoicism, to reclaim control over the garden of your mind. Lesson 2. Focus only on what's within your control. A negative mind is like a minefield. Each step could trigger an emotional explosion. And most of these explosions come from trying to control what's beyond our reach. You stress over what people think, what might go wrong tomorrow, or what already happened yesterday. But Stoicism hands you a golden key, the ability to discern what's within your control and what's not. Anything that doesn't depend directly on your actions is outside your influence. And the more you insist on worrying about these things, the more anxious and frustrated you become. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. So why waste your energy on what you will never be able to change?" You can't control what others feel. You can't change the past. You can't predict the future, but you can control what you think right now, how you respond, and what you nourish within yourself. Think of life as a ship on the open sea. You don't command the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And when you adjust your inner sails, your thoughts, your attitude, you sail with much more clarity. The Stoic practice is a daily exercise and focus. Whenever a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this under my control or not? If it isn't, let it go, release it, free yourself. Worrying about what can't be changed is like trying to stop the rain with your hands. But when you shift your attention to what you can transform, the world changes, you change. And in that shift, negative thoughts lose their strength because they only survive in the soil of illusion. The concrete reality of action lives in the present, in your hands. And the Stoic lives right there, in the now, with full presence and power. Lesson 3. Challenge your thoughts with Stoic logic. One of the biggest mistakes we make is accepting every thought as truth. Have you noticed how a single negative thought enters your mind, takes up space, and settles in like a log? But Stoicism teaches something revolutionary. Thoughts must be examined, not obeyed. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." In other words, we suffer more from interpretation than from fact. The mind creates scenarios, predictions, catastrophes, most of which never happen. When a thought arises like, "Everything will go wrong," pause, breathe, look at it like an investigator. Ask yourself, what real evidence do I have for this? Is this thought based on facts or on fear? If someone else said this, would I believe it? The negative mind is irrational. It feeds on assumptions, But logic, Stoic, reasoning is the sword that cuts through those illusions. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal every day to observe and challenge his own thoughts. You can do the same. Write down the negative thought and confront it with rational questions. This weakens the emotional grip it has on you. You can also replace destructive thoughts with Stoic maxims like, adversity reveals the true self. What affects me is only what I allow to affect me. If it's outside my control, it's outside my concern. Each time you challenge a thought with logic, you loosen the emotional chains around it. Gradually, the walls of the negative mind begin to crumble. You start to realize that many of your fears were only shadows cast on the wall, and now, with the light of reason, they no longer intimidate you. That's the power of Stoicism. It doesn't tell you to run from your thoughts. It teaches you to face them and overcome them with clarity. Lesson 4. Practice premeditatio malo. It may seem counterintuitive to consciously think about bad things, right? But the Stoics did this every single day, and for a deeply liberating purpose. This practice is called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. They reflected on the adversities that can happen: loss, pain, failure, mistakes, criticism, even death. But why to prepare themselves emotionally? Because what truly destroys our peace isn't what happens. It's the shock, the illusion that everything should always go our way. Epictetus taught, remember that you are mortal, and that nothing belongs to you forever. When you visualize loss beforehand, it doesn't destroy you if it happens. When you consider criticism in advance, it doesn't crush you. The practice is simple, but powerful. Calmly imagine the obstacles you might face in your day. Picture someone treating you unfairly, something going wrong, a mistake being made, and then visualize yourself responding with serenity, prepared, aware, strong. This drastically weakens the power of negative thoughts. You stop being shocked by life's challenges. Instead, you're guided by wisdom, not emotion. This practice is not pessimism, it's mental fortification. It builds a shield within you against the chaos of the external world. And the best part, when real problems arise, they already feel smaller inside you, because you've already conquered them in your mind. And a prepared mind, as Marcus Aurelius said, is a fortress against suffering. Lesson 5. Break the cycle with immediate action. Negative thoughts are repetitive. They arise, spin, feed off each other, and form a destructive cycle. You start with one small doubt, and within minutes, you're drowning in mental noise. But Stoicism teaches that action is the antidote to rumination. Marcus Aurelius wrote, stop talking about what a good man should be one. In other words, stop overthinking, act. When a negative thought begins to take over, stand up, do something physical, clean a space, take a walk, right? Breathe deeply, do something useful, even something small, because action disrupts mental paralysis. Overthinking is like running on a treadmill. You burn energy, but go nowhere. Action is like walking in a new direction. It reorganizes your thoughts. You get out of your head and return to your body, to the present moment. This is pure Stoicism, to act with purpose, even amidst chaos. Seneca said, life is like a play. It's not about how long it lasts, but how well it's performed. Act as if your mind is in your hands, because it is. You don't need to wait for your mood to change before you act. You act to change your mood, and when action becomes habit, the mind learns to follow. It realizes it's no longer in charge. You are, and in that moment, negative thoughts grow quiet because they no longer have an audience. Lesson 6. Nourish your mind with conscious thoughts. Have you ever heard the saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop? In Stoicism, there is a similar principle. An idle mind becomes a prisoner of useless things. Seneca said we must keep our minds busy with good things, or else they will be occupied by bad things. Most negative thoughts arise when you are mentally directionless, without focus, without intention. It's like leaving a house with the doors wide open. Anything can come in. The mind needs to be nourished, just like the body. If you only consume toxic, negative, or worthless content, your thoughts will reflect that. But if you feed your mind with wisdom, virtues, and elevated reflections, it transforms. The Stoic trains his mind like an athlete trains his body, reads good books, listens to uplifting words, writes, reflects, meditates, reminds himself daily who he wants to be and what he is cultivating inside. Do you want fewer negative thoughts? Then start planning positive, conscious, and elevated thoughts. Read Marcus Aurelius every day. even if just a small passage. Repeat maxims like, the obstacle is the way, everything that happens is necessary for my growth. I can endure whatever nature gives me. Create the habit of pausing during the day to reflect. Ask yourself, does this thought strengthen or weaken me? Would the wisest version of myself think this way? You'll notice many negative thoughts arise because you were drifting. But now, with direction, presence, and purpose, your mind finds balance. Remember, you don't eliminate negativity just by resisting it. You overcome it by filling the space with what has value. And when the mind is full of virtue, there's no room left for poison. Lesson 7. Remember daily, you are stronger than you think. The final and most important Stoic step to defeat negative thoughts is this: recognize the strength that already exists within you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is humanly possible, believe this, you can endure it too. This means you don't need to be someone different, smarter, or more perfect. You just need to access the strength already inside you. Negative thoughts try to convince you that you are weak, broken, or inferior. But look at your own story. How many battles have you faced? How many times did you think you couldn't make it? But you did. You've been through dark days, but you survived every single one. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be invulnerable. It teaches you to be unshakable. Even when vulnerable, it means you can feel pain, yet still act with courage. You can feel fear, yet still move forward. The Stoic knows the mind lies, and so he anchors himself in reason, virtue, and inner strength. Remind yourself every day, I have control over my thoughts. No thought defines who I am, even if negativity comes. I know how to face it. You are so much more than the voice trying to sabotage you. You are the one who listens and decides whether to obey or not. And when you choose to be greater than destructive thoughts, you stop being a prisoner and become the master. Stoicism reminds you, day after day, that you are not alone with your mind. You are its leader, and leading your mind is the first step to transforming your entire life.